Ready, hunt!
Kansas State's leading rushers are quarterback, and he's especially effective down on the goal line. What kind of, after facing all the passing team last week, what kind of challenge does that present your defense?
Well, they run the ball with the quarterback and back about any way that's ever been invented to run the football. So which is, it'll be a lot of work to, to cancel gaps, to be structurally sound against it, and they do a good job executing their run game, and the quarterback is the focal part of it.
Bob, your mantra has always been no excuses, but you just mentioned injuries. The guys that were out.
No. Dave was asking me, beginning of the year, that I said, well, it's about time we win a championship, which, around here it is. And I said, you cannot forecast all the things that happen. All right? And that's part of it, too. So no one's making excuses here. My point being is, you guys ask me questions, and then I'm not able to answer them, because then they get turned around, and that isn't what I said.
No, my question was, basically, the guys you were missing were really good players. You downplay that quite a bit. The significance of that, it is fairly significant, isn't it?
Well, it always is, but it doesn't matter. It amounts to the same thing, and it gets back to what you asked. I have to answer questions on what happens. Well, sometimes maybe it's intensity. Sometimes maybe the guy getting beat, the other guy's better than. So, sometimes they coach better than we coached. So all of it amounts to just, it amounts to losing. So my point, that's all of it. And again, Dave's asking me about that, then hey, injuries are a part of it too. And it's fair to say it didn't help.
Bob, it's hard to get a good pass rush on Tech just because of the way they play. But what about your pass rush could have or should have been better? Getting hands in passing lanes, getting a little more pressure on Daggy?
Little bit of each. You usually, tip a few more balls on third down or get a little more pressure, or you make them squeeze it a hair longer. We did get 3 sacks. We hit him another time right as he's getting rid of the ball. Didn't help us much. We didn't have any sacks against us.
Tighter coverage.
Yeah.
Tighter coverage makes them hold it longer, I guess.
Exactly. All of it works together.
You were playing a team that's about as polar opposite offensively as the one you just played. Considering what happened, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, I don't think it has to matter in that we're going to go practice all week, and if it was, playing a team in like Tech that's throwing it all over the yard, you'd like to think you can make some corrections and play better, but otherwise you just got a different structure to play and a different way to play it.
People always talk about speed advantage, which you have on most teams, but you definitely, what are the ways you can exploit speed against a team like Kansas State, out on the corners defensively and offensively, or what are some of the ways?
Well, I don't know that, as far as their offense, they care about, what kind of speed you have. They're going to come off and mash you and run the ball up inside or bounce it around the edge, and going to have about 8 blockers out in front of, the quarterback. So I don't think it's a big deal to them on how they like to play. Now, obviously, offensively, if you can, route running or, if you can get open and make some things happen there, you have a chance maybe for that, hopefully to be some kind of advantage.
What were your thoughts of your quarterback play and your receiver play?
Thought it was very unprecise, I think is the best way to say it. So, we have guys in spots that we're used to converting and picking up. So there's some drops, some poor throws, all of it together was not very precise, and it showed.
When's the last time you went 5 straight times in that game with 3 and outs? You remember the last time that's happened?
I don't remember the last time that's happened.
Was there any, did you guys get away maybe from what you wanted to do? It did seem like in the second half, you began to run the ball more and not face these third and longs nearly so often. But I understand that prior to that, the plays may have been there, just wasn't being executed. But
To me, it's a lot of that. The precision in what we were doing was very poor, and so that's what it leads to: 3 and outs or turnovers.
in addition to the drop passes on third down, there were a lot of second and shorts that got blown up. What was going on there? Was Tech disguising things? Guys didn't know who to block, or?
Yeah, just very poor. Time or two, guys know who to block and just get beat. And other times, there's a time or so we busted it, who we're blocking.
Kansas State's running back 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks on kickoffs. Any extra focus on special teams this week?
Always, sure, we're very, very aware of, their returns. So, yeah, we'll work them hard.
Back-to-back weeks with 0 turnovers is unusual for your defense. Do you do anything in particular this week to address that at all?
It's what we've always done, trying to strip the ball, trying to get them in practice. But, there isn't any magic to it. You just got to, the other team too, depending on, they're always a part of it.
Will Honeycutt kick again, and how is Stevens' health?
Jimmy's still not practicing, and so regardless, I'd still go with Michael right now.
Outside of the realm of football, just for the
Because he's done so well.
Jimmy's whatever, I can't remember the
Jimmy
number,
hasn't
17 and
practiced in
19.
2-3 weeks, so
Outside of the realm of football, just for these kids becoming men in life, how would you like to see them respond this week?
Well, just to show some character and some toughness to face the challenge and to make improvement and to invest in the week, and being prepared to play well.
Isn't this a gut check for this team, coming off a loss, playing in a really tough place, good
Sure,
team?
absolutely. It's a big challenge.
Do you like the fact, is it better that you're facing somebody who's a threat to beat you as opposed to somebody that you'd be favored by a bunch of points over? Or would you rather have?
I don't know why that would matter right now. I think it's pretty obvious, and what I said to the team, and a lot of times everyone throws out, it's just coach speak, but I truly mean it. Anyone can beat us that will play, and we can beat anybody too. And that's this week, next week, and all the coming weeks. And so.
Bubba, you returned, beginning to come around.
We did a real good job last week. Obviously, punt return, we're up there towards the top of the league. In the last couple of weeks, we've had some big ones. And then kickoff returns, they were all out to the 30 or 45. They were all much better.
Even with Dom coming back, will Roy still be back there?
We'll see.
Anybody can beat you. Do you ever marvel at what's going on in the Big 12 with all the instability and all the upheaval? Yet, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 teams, everybody does seem to be really good. You got 6 in the BCS top 24.
I'm very aware.
Tech's not even on the
Yeah.
radar screen, comes in here and beats you. I mean, does it?
But again, that's where people who analyze the 2 games they lost don't really look at them very objectively. When you look at, their opportunities to win and what happened in those games where they didn't. They're within an eyelash in both those games of winning. So, does it surprise me that the leagues? No, I see them and have to go against them, and we're very aware of how the quality of players and the quality of coaching, throughout the league.
Can you talk about the offense-centric nature of the Big 12? Higher scoring than ever, higher scoring than any other league. The relationship between great offense and poor defense, or just
Yeah, I don't
style.
know. I'm not in that debate. You're asking me about the offenses in the league. I think I go to the quarterbacks and and the skill players throughout the league. I think as much as anything, and the up tempo, the more and more people spreading it out. So there's it can lead to more to more opportunities to score, more plays, all of that.
Brendan Clay, and how do you plan to play Clay and Roy Finch in terms of who gets more reps?
Well, we'll see what Coach Gundy feels during the week, but obviously, we'll try and work them both in there. But I was excited to see Roy have some of the plays that he did. He can still be better in some missed assignments throughout the game that maybe the average eye doesn't see. So So it'll depend on, you know, again, how reliable he is in all his assignments too, but they'll both play.
The case of him not knowing part of the playbook, or just?
I'm not gonna, you know, to me, he's a college guy. I'm not gonna sit here and critique why, you know, there's some things that sometimes aren't what they need to be, and again, I'm not gonna broadcast what they are.
Do you spot him in certain situations based on what he's shown you in certain plays?
Sometimes, and/or sometimes depending on what the other backs are doing, you know. So the other night, Dom's not available in some situations, so he has to have them.